Hi guys, and welcome back to another lesson with Miss Shaw. Hope you've all been keeping safe and staying at home. Keep safe, looking after your families and everyone around us, the NHS and everybody. Okay, so for today's session you're going to need a pencil, paper, and to access the worksheets from the website. So your times tables test. Today we're going to be doing our 6 times tables, like I said. Okay, so here are your 8 questions that I want you to answer. Pause the video for the next few minute. You shouldn't be taking more than that, minute or 30 seconds, and answer the following questions before we move on to the answers. Okay, so here are your answers. 6 times 3 is 18, 6 times 5 30, 6 times 7 42, 6 times 2 12, 6 times 8 48, 6 times 11 66, 6 times 4 is 24, 6 times 9 is 53. That's how fast you should be writing it. However fast I'm saying is how fast you guys should be writing it to all the practice that we have been doing. So if you've got more, for each question you have wrong, you have to do 10 star jumps. So today we're going to be able to multiply 3 numbers together. So you write the date and learning intention, and you've got your success criteria is to be able to begin multiplying 2 of these numbers together, multiply the product of these 2 numbers by the third number to find the answer, and I can see that multiplication can be done in any order. So what did you learn last week before half term? Pause the video, think for a second. Well done. So we learnt how to use the grid method. Okay, missing pieces. Can you work out what missing squares in the multiplication square should be? Which numbers are hidden? What I want you to do is, before I click on the numbers, I want you to think to yourself for a minute, pause the video, and what numbers go in all these missing question marks. Pause the video, please. Okay, so let's reveal the answers. 12, 55, 36, 16, 56, 54, 12, 108. Well done. So on the next slide, you're going to fill in the 13 times tables and 14 times tables. Okay, so a lot of you guys have done this. I don't think you've ever tried doing the 13 and 14 times tables. So what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video. You can pause it for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, however long you feel is best. And I want you to fill in the rest of the table. You don't have to write it down, but you can just write, just say it out loud. So go 13 times 1 is 13, 13 times 14 times 1 is 14, 13 times 2 is 26. 14 times 2 is 28. So go in all the rows, follow the rows across. This is just a start, just to get your mind running. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at multiplication machines because we're going to be multiplying together 3 numbers. Okay, so in goes 4. What do we multiply it by? 5. Good. So 4 times 5 is 20, and 20 goes through the machine, which is then multiplied by 3 to get 60. Out comes 60. Okay, so 4 times 5 times 3 equals 60. What is happening inside the machine? Step 1. 4 times 5 equals 20. Begin by finding the product of the 2 numbers. Step 2. 20 times 3 equals 60. Multiply the product of the first 2 numbers by the third number. So the product is the answer. So multiply the answer of the first 2 numbers by the third number. So 4 times 5 is 20, and then we do 20 times 3 equals 60. Okay, so 8 times 5 times 3. What's the first step that we do? Good. We do 8 times 5. We get the answer, the product, and then we times that by 3. So we do 8 times 5 is 40. 40 times 3 is 120, and out comes 120. Excellent. Now 6 times 5 is 30, and you do 30 times 3 is 90, and out comes 90. Excellent. Let's do the same thing again for 9. 9 times 5 times 3. 9 times 5 is 45. 45 times 3 is 135. Out comes 135. Okay, let's try this one. So 7 times 5 times 3. 7 times 5, 35. 35 times 3, 105. Out comes 105. Okay, so these multiplication machines are quite straightforward. Multiplying three numbers together is not as tricky, It's quite an easy thing. So the top tips for you to remember is to remember to multiply the first two numbers, okay? Then times the product, which is the answer of the first two numbers, by the last number, and that's how you get your answer. It's so straightforward and so simple. You can multiply in any order, back to front or front to back, and you'll always get the same answer because the three numbers will always be the same. So it's very straightforward. It just takes a lot of time, and don't rush it. Okay, so does the order of the calculation matter when multiplying three numbers? So Robot A says it doesn't matter which order you do multiplication questions in, you'll always get the same answer. Robot B says you can't just put the numbers in the wrong end, you won't get the right answer. Multiplication questions need to be worked out from left to right in order, or you will get them all wrong. What I want you to do is think for a minute, pause the video, who is correct? Give examples to support your ideas. You can either, write this down on a piece of paper, or just have a discussion with an adult, or even say it to yourself, repeat it to yourself. Which robot is Robot A correct or Robot B correct, and why do you think that is? Okay, so your task now is you've got your challenges on the Grange website, multiplication machines, and choose challenge 1 or challenge 2, whichever one you feel comfortable with answering. And yes, good luck with your work, and see you in the next lesson on the week after. Thank you to all those of you who have been sending over your work the whole week. You will be getting your rewards and recognition in the shout out videos and celebration assemblies. And for next lesson, please practice your 7 times tables, as we will be moving on to that.